Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Indeed, welcome back after the break. We're into the last part of today's program of the Ramadan Family Commitment, 9th year of the Ramadan Family Commitment closing ceremony tonight, inshallah. We're now going to continue our certificate distribution. I'd like to call once again on stage our Honourable Chairman, Janab Ahmed Samad Chaudhry JP, and also the CEO and the real driving force behind the charity department this year, of course, Taz Chaudhry. Jazakallahu khairan. Our first certificate is going to go to another project that has come back to Channel S this year, alhamdulillah. They had the most difficult appeal, the very first appeal during Ramadan. The first day of fasting is difficult, let alone doing an appeal on that first day. But alhamdulillah, they persevered throughout that appeal. Stepney Shah Jalal Mosque. If I could ask the representative of Stepney Shah Jalal Mosque to come and receive their certificate, inshallah. Again, Stepney Shah Jalal Mosque, it's had some difficult years, but despite that, alhamdulillah, they're persevering, and inshallah soon we will see this project come to realization, inshallah. Jazakallahu khairan to Stepney Shah Jalal Mosque. Our next project, of course, again, this is one of those projects, Al-Quran Academy, whenever they come on Channel S, you don't really have to say much. People are constantly ringing and giving money. It's the only project that we have of a huge scale, having distributed millions of copies of Quran, both with Bangla translation and now starting with Nepalese translation and the new English translation version coming out soon as well. I'd like to request Brother Abdul Qadir from Al-Quran Academy, our Dawah project that we have here on Channel S, simply for the purpose of distributing Quran throughout the world. Jazakallah khair once again to Al-Quran Academy, and congratulations to them for 2 successful appeals this year. Jazakallah khair, and thank you. Of course, for some of the masjids, it is a little bit of a distance for them to travel. So unfortunately, York Mosque, again a beautiful groundbreaking project that is York Mosque, could not be here with us today, as could not Swansea Mosque, which will be, of course, the biggest mosque in Wales, having purchased the biggest church in Swansea and converted it into a masjid. Again, talking of distance, Newcastle Central Mosque, quite a long way to travel for them to London. But again, Jazakallah khair to all 3 of those organizations for their efforts during the month of Ramadan, and of course bringing some groundbreaking projects here to Channel S. Now, one of our biggest projects we have in the UK, and again, we all had the opportunity of doing something quite amazing this year, and that was to purchase that last little piece of the jigsaw of East London Mosque, and that was the little synagogue that's wedged between the 2 or 3 buildings of East London Mosque. Alhamdulillah, with your support, before Ramadan finished, East London Mosque was able to purchase the synagogue, and I can say that a lot of that purchase money was raised here on Channel S, over £1 million that night, with the help of Brother Ajmal Masroor doing that groundbreaking appeal on that night. Tonight, of course, they've had a very busy weekend with the Muslim Charity Run, so they're still recovering from that. So unfortunately, they could not be here tonight. But again, our support continues to stay with East London Mosque. Another groundbreaking project, and of course that is the very first masjid in UK, the Abdullah Quilla Mosque. They came back this year, alhamdulillah, again with Brother Ajmal Masroor, another beautiful appeal that was presented on that night. So I'm going to request that certificate to be received by our dear Brother Ajmal Masroor, and with, I'm not even going to say short speech because I love his speeches, so let him take his time, inshallah. Brother Ajmal Masroor. And requesting Brother Ajmal Masroor for his speech as well.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم. I don't want to speak for long, but as I was coming here, I was thinking, what shall I speak about? And what shall I say to an esteemed audience like you? And I remembered the small story from the life of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Our Prophet was sitting down and resting when a Bedouin came from nowhere and said, "Oh, you Muhammad, are you Muhammad?" very rudely, brashly, "Who are you? Tell me more about you." The Bedouin said this. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in a kind and a very beautiful manner, smiled back at him and said, "I am Muhammad ibn Abdullah. I am Muhammad, the son of Abdullah." And that's all he said. No exaggeration, no title, no aggrandization of himself, nothing. Just, "I am Muhammad, the son of Abdullah." The man said, "Okay, since you are so simple and ordinary and normal, all this religion that you're teaching and preaching and causing trouble in our society, tell me more about this." So Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave him, I call the power da'wah. It took him 10 seconds to tell him all about Islam in 10 seconds. I want you to count this if you've got a watch on your hand, and I'll read the verse of the Quran that he read. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Inna Allah ya'muru bil-'adli wal-ihsan wa ita'i dhil qurba wa yanha 'anil fahsha'i wal munkari wal baghi. Actually, that was 8 seconds. Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam introduced the entire concept of Islam in 8 seconds to a Bedouin man who had no knowledge of Islam. What did he say? We need to know, right? Prophet ﷺ read this verse of the Quran where he says, Allah orders you, inna Allah, he orders you, ya'muru, he orders you, bil-'adl, so that you can be just. Wal-ihsan, you can be excellent. Wa ita'i dhil qurba, and you can be good to your close relatives, orphans and the needy. So 3 orders Rasulullah outlined in 4 seconds. Justice, excellence, and charity. And 3 prohibitions, then he says, وَيَنْهَا عَنِ الْفَحْشَاءِ, and he orders you against fahsha, shameful deeds. وَالْمُنْكَرِ, and that which is evil. وَالْبَغِي, and that which takes you away from balance, from moderation, from modesty, from the middle. Rebellion, in other words. So 3 prohibitions. Shameful deeds, evil, and rebellion. So 3 commands and 3 prohibitions was all our Prophet ﷺ said to this Bedouin man, and he said, this is Islam. My dear brothers and sisters, if you're listening to this from home, you will understand how simple Islam is, and yet we have made it complicated. We've added so many layers of complication to this deen of Allah that is easy and that requires our deeper understanding and ease in practice and in preaching. And this is why I like these charity appeals, because charity embodies the manifestation of the divine will. And I hope and I pray that you can find this power da'wah a tool for the future. And the biggest form of da'wah will be this mosque on whose behalf I'm receiving the certificate, Abdullah Kuliam Masjid, the first of Britain's mosque, made by a white man, run by a white man, taught by a white man, and established by a white man, closed for 100 years, and revived by the foreigners like you and I. We're not foreigners, this is our home. That's why we're reviving our heritage, the root of this country, the mother of all mosques, as they call it, and birth of British Islam from Abdullah Kuliam Mosques, inshallah. Thank you for listening. I hope and I pray you go and find more about our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his life and how he explained Islam, and he will support all the good causes from here on. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallah khair, brother Ajmal Masroor. Well, that wasn't a speech that I was going to interrupt too quickly. MashaAllah. Beautiful, well done. Alhamdulillah, we're now going to move on. Again, one of our Dawah projects is Ibrahim College for many, many years. And we've seen Ibrahim College grow over the last 5 or 6 years from what was a relatively humble, small project to being one of the biggest providers of short courses in the East London area and continuing to go from strength to strength. Unfortunately, they could not be here tonight, but of course, our support here at Channel S remains with Ibrahim College. We'd now like to call upon the representative again of Latifia Fultali complex to come and receive their certificate, inshaAllah. Janab Abdul Qadir Sheb to come and receive his certificate again. Latifia Fultali complex in Birmingham will be the largest madrasa complex in its kind in the whole of Birmingham, inshaAllah. And I hope over the next few years that will come to fruition as well. Jazakallah khair. Thank you very much. Jazakallah khair. Another beautiful mosque, and I mentioned that on the night of their appeal, as I had to call in on that night during the appeal, is if you look at design of mosques in time with the present generation of Muslims in Britain, then Newbury Park has to get the award for its unique design and beautiful design, subhanAllah, that this masjid will be completed in. So I'd like to call upon the representative of Newbury Park Mosque to come forward. Again, this is a project we hope that you will continue to support as time is ticking with this project with regards to their planning permission, and I hope you will continue to support that so it comes to fruition as soon as possible. Jazakallah khair to Newbury Park Mosque. And last but not least, the reason why we have kept this to the last, they were in fact the last appeal during this Ramadan. And I remember Taz Chowdhury calling me later in that night saying that tonight's appeal was nothing short of a miracle. Well, I can tell you a masjid project that started literally with 6 friends and I think about £90, I think it was started with 25 years ago, today has become the biggest project of its kind in this part of East London in Leighton. And when it is complete, the Nurul Islam Masjid and Complex will be an example not just for London, but for the whole of United Kingdom. Already Nurul Islam Trust is seen as an exemplary organisation, and I would recommend any person who's running a masjid or starting a masjid project is to come and visit Nurul Islam Trust. Spend a day there and you will learn at least 90% of what you need to know about running an organisation in the Ummah. So I'm going to call upon Brother Yusuf Hansa, the pioneer behind Nurul Islam Trust, to come and receive the last certificate this evening, inshallah, and give us a speech as well. Jazakallahu khairan. Once again, Nurul Islam Trust, please do visit the complex. Please do continue to support it, inshallah. I'd like to also now thank the chairman, Ahmad Samad Chowdhury, and the CEO, Brother Taz Chowdhury, for presenting the certificates this evening. And over to Brother Yusuf Hansa.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. My dear respected brothers and viewers of Channel S, I don't know how to thank Allah, first of all, for giving us the opportunity and chance to be on Channel S. But I have to thank, there are so many people I have to thank, but it will take me nearly all night, and I don't want to do that. But Brother Rizwan and Brother Yahya and Taz and the management has been very good to us. Although we couldn't speak any Bengali when we came to see him, but we are grateful. May Allah reward Channel S and the Ramadan family commitment immensely for their work which they have done, which they are doing, and I cannot but praise them on Day of Judgment, inshallah. Like we said that we will be witnessing that you have done so much good, for not to Nurul Islam but to everyone. Just to, you give me a chance to say a few words about Nurul Islam. Nurul Islam is the people's organization. Rizwan will tell you, Brother Rizwan is one of us. He's been one of us from the day one, so may Allah reward him as well, mashallah. And at Nurul Islam, we do not have any group of people. It's a family, like Ramadan family. It's a big family, and we work so hard. Our people work with sincerity. This is why we've gone from strength to strength from day one. As Brother Rizwan mentioned, we started with 5, Brother Rizwan, and £90 on the table. And by the grace of Allah, again, it's Allah who made it. It's not nobody, no group, no people, no individual. It's Allah that made it possible that where we have reached. It's a big project. But I don't know, even me, I can't tell you how people are giving. And we have to thank the viewers of Channel S. From all part of UK, they've been giving. Rizwan, Brother Rizwan will tell you that from 1 o'clock onwards, we've checked the phone calls which have been coming in. It's immense. It's a lot. May Allah reward every single one of the viewers, first of all, because the viewers, it's you that made us manage to reach that much. And then, last of all, let me thank the management, May Allah reward every single one of you, inshallah. Jazakallah. This is one I have to thank you.
Jazakallah khair to Brother Yusuf Hansa. Well, it brings us towards the end of the program, but there is, I'm sure all my audience here in the studio is feeling the absence of a very special person who unfortunately could not be with us tonight. That is, of course, the founder of Channel S, Brother Mahi Firdaus Jalil. I saw him very briefly on a few occasions this Ramadan, but I can tell you one thing, for the last, it's going to be 10 years that I've been presenting here on Channel S, always been a person who's been motivating us, giving us the strength to be brave, to be daring, and to try out something new, including a Ramadan family commitment. I remember when the idea was presented to him, he jumped onto the idea and said, right, great, go with it. And he put his faith and his belief in it. So we all make dua for our brother Mahi Firdaus Jalil. May Allah give him strength to continue in the good work that he started here 10 years ago. Now, this Ramadan, and I have to say, for the last 9 or 10 years that I've been presenting here, Ramadan is a very, very tough time. Not just for the presenters, but for staff that are working in the background, for the brother who cooks the food every day, for those 2 meals, very important. In fact, one of the most important people in the team of people that work here during the month of Ramadan is our chef brother, alhamdulillah. But not only that, the team behind the scenes, and leading that team behind the scenes this year, staying awake and doing qiyam every night of those 30 nights, was our CEO, Brother Taz Chowdhury. And I remember saying this during Ramadan, indeed after Ramadan, and I've said this to a lot of people this year, that it's been the smoothest Ramadan that we've experienced in the last 10 years of presenting here. And that is because, sometimes managing something from a distance doesn't always help, especially when you're dealing with things that can possibly go wrong on a daily basis. But this was somebody who managed very much hands-on, and within a few seconds notice would appear here in the studio to resolve the problems and motivate us, and often even shout at us just to get on with things, alhamdulillah. But that's who he is, the very loving Taz Chowdhury.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. It's a great pleasure. Biggest problem is giving the closing speech. Samad Bhai always used to, our chairman always used to complain that everyone said everything. What am I going to say? What a wonderful speech by Brother Azul Mashroor. We can sit here and listen to him all night. May Allah give him more strength to carry on like this. Alhamdulillah, it's been an absolutely fantastic year. From a point of view of our viewers, has been as I've reminded everyone in this opening ceremony of RFC, যে আপনারা বুঝি শুনি চান্দা দিবা, donation করবা, and alhamdulillah people have actually responded. People, আমার community মানুষের I'm going to mix up basically. People in our community, the viewers, have understood what kind of project to give money to. It's like the Nurul Islam mosque. Up to 12 o'clock it was all quiet. Then suddenly, alhamdulillah, the miracle started. One brother phoned in and gave £20,000 from the local area. He could have done that even before, because you are sitting there watching Channel S. A Bengali brother, alhamdulillah, donated £20,000, for one project. And of course, you've seen the miracle of East London Masjid, as it always happens with East London Mosque. Every single charity, alhamdulillah, this year done wonders. Muslim Charity, Al Mustafa Welfare Trust, Biani Bazar Cancer Hospital, they've already opened their first phase. Hopefully they will be starting on the second phase. Young charities like CAF Foundation, Mosque, of course, which is continuing to come to Channel S, Swansea Mosque, Newcastle Mosque, projects of that nature. Forgive me if I'm not mentioning everyone. This year also been another unique opportunity for us to work with ICRA International, which obviously was our chosen charity, where people have donated kindly onto that account. Next year we will continue to work with ICRA International. If anyone missed your donation or pledges, please do so. The account will remain open. You can always call us or ICRA International, take the account details. You'll also find that on Channel S's website. Without further ado, because we need to end the program very soon, just like to thank all my colleagues, in particular Mujahid. Unfortunately, couldn't join us here today. We need to dua for his little child at the moment. He has a newborn baby. Special thanks goes to Ahad, who's in charge of our studio, Rashid, Jubair, Kayas, Mishu in particular, who's single-handedly gave us a mainstream look on our channel with his latest 3D style graphics. The screen totally looked different. And that the whole thing goes to hard work goes to Mishu on that particular thing. And it's been a great pleasure for me, although I've been on Channel S since 2006, for me to be, this is the first year when I was actually hands-on, as Rizwan Bhai said, from day one until to the end, and obviously introduce a few new projects. And next year we're going to bring in a few more new projects as well. But our key our key concentration would still remain with the community, and that is the mosque, because this is where our founder Mahir Firdaus believes that we should, we should always help where we need to basically work, i.e. the masjid. Masjid is where we are, bringing up the deen, the work of deen, and the kids are going there for maktab and etc. It's very important. Equally, of course, we'll be working with all the international charities like we have been. And I am personally, from this year, will be looking after and looking at the accountability where the money is getting spent, whether it is Rohingyan funds or whether it is for the masjid in this country or a charity to spend money in Satok even, or anywhere in Bangladesh. So thank you for supporting us. Thank you for believing us. And, we would continue to be part of you as your channel to trust. So we'll look forward to working with you throughout the year, inshallah. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Jazakallah khair once again to Brother Taz Chaudhry and all the team that have been working behind the scenes throughout that month of Ramadan. Well, this brings us to the end of another Ramadan family commitment. Next year is a very important year for Ramadan family commitment, as we will complete 10 whole years of Ramadan family commitment. 10 years ago, let's say, we didn't think we would come this far with this project, but alhamdulillah bil alameen, Allah has accepted our efforts, inshallah. We make dua that all the charities that have fundraised this year, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq now to deliver as promised to our donors. That's the most important thing. And of course, continue to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and make lots of dua for those people. You've got to remember, millions of pounds have been donated here in Channel S alone this year. This is money from people's hard-earned income, which they have given up for the benefit of others in the ummah. May Allah give them the most important reward of all, inshallah. Thank you to my audience here for traveling. Many of you have traveled from a long distance to be here with us tonight, inshallah. So please do make dua for Ramadan Family Commitment 2010, the 10th year, inshallah, and we look forward to being a part of that, inshallah, next year. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.